Breaking news, Donald Trump has developed a serious medical condition. On Real Donald Trump post, he has threatened Iran once again. In addition, it seems like Donald Trump has converted to Islam. He said Tuesday will be a power plant day and a bridge day, all wrapped up in one for Iran. He then wrote, "Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you will be living in hell." And then went along and said, "Just watch, praise be to Allah." It appears that in his last stage, he is willing to convert to Islam. Just watch your space that he could be changing his name to Ayatollah Donald Trump in the coming days.
Trump just escalated the ultimatum against Iran. And he woke up pretty angry today because he said that you better open that Strait of Hormuz, not such nice words about the Ayatollah regime, or else Tuesday will be a day of bombing bridges and bombing energy facilities in Iran. So the deadline is approaching, and looks like Trump is just leveling up his statements against the Ayatollah regime, and we'll see what happens on the ground on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. The good news is that the American pilot or co-pilot or navigator, how you call him, is safe and sound after 36 hours of being hitting basically while all of Iran was chasing him. So let's start by thanking God for rescuing this very brave man from the hands of the Ayatollah regime, because if he was kidnapped, we do not want to think about what they would have done to him after what they do to their own people. So, first of all, let's pray for wisdom to Donald Trump and to all the leaders involved in this war. Let's pray for the health and safety of the pilot and navigator that were saved from the crash. Keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem, for the people of Iran.
This is sarcastic, hilarious, it's paradox, it is wicked fun. I guess I need to call the Pope in here. We need to pray.
On Easter morning, the president posted, quote, "Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell." Then he signed it, "Praise be to Allah." He also announced that Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day in Iran. He branded the destruction of civilian electricity, hospitals, ventilators, neonatal units, like a streaming premiere. Gave it a date, a title, an exclamation point. Over 100 international law experts have already called targeting power grids a war crime. He turned it into an Eventbrite. The same week, his spiritual advisor compared him to Jesus at a White House luncheon. 2 days ago, his post was signed, "Glory be to God." Today, it's Allah. Psychologists call this instrumental religiosity, sacred language used for dominance. He wears faith like a costume change between scenes. And while he's manufacturing this level of collective psychological damage, his proposed budget cuts mental health funding by 15% and guts NIH research by 40%. He's creating a crisis and locking the medicine cabinet on the same day. If this reached you, don't let it stay quiet.
Donald Trump has lost control on his war with Iran, and let me tell you why. Because it starts with this.
As I announced earlier, based on preliminary conversations between the United States and Iran over the past 2 days, I've directed the Department of War to temporarily postpone planned strikes against major energy and electricity targets in Iran.
Today was the day. He vowed to obliterate Iranian power plants after his 48-hour ultimatum was up. It was a threat: open the world's most important oil route, the Strait of Hormuz, or American bombs would be falling on those Iranian power plants. And now, though, he says that they actually have 5 days, or they will keep bombing our little hearts out.
So we're giving it 5 days, and then we're going to see where that takes us. And I would say at the end of this period, I think it could very well end up being a very good deal.
And so you're probably wondering what actually happened. Trump says they are talking about a deal with Iran, but that's actually news to about everyone involved in this war, because Iran says there are no talks, either direct or indirect, that is taking place. And Trump seems to be in fear. And here's another reason that shows Trump has no concrete plan. His objectives have changed. At first, it was for Iranians to rise up and take control of their government. That obviously hasn't happened. And now it seems it is about regime change.
And there'll also be a form of a very serious form of a regime change. Now, in all fairness, everybody's been killed from the regime. There's automatically a regime change. But we're dealing with some people that I find to be very reasonable, very solid. The people within know who they are. They're very respected. And maybe one of them will be exactly what we're looking for. Look at Venezuela, how well that's working out.
But we know that's factually not true. Look, this is foreign policy in real time. No plan, no consistency, no strategy. And the world's oil trade and the global economy all hangs in the balance. So what did we get? 48 hours of uncertainty, and it turns out it didn't mean a thing.
But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build. And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now.
Trump is now telling Iran exactly when we're going to strike. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, like he's premiering a new TV series. This man is not well, and if he is actually giving away the time the United States is expected to strike Iranian infrastructure, because he posted this earlier this morning saying that Tuesday was the day we were going to go after all of the Iranian bridges and power plants. And then he just posted the time. 8 p.m. Eastern. Can you imagine if any other president gave away the exact targets and time that the U.S. military was apparently ready to strike something? Like, are you kidding? Let alone Joe Biden or Barack Obama getting up on the internet and saying it. Could you imagine? I want you to go way back in time now. Can you imagine if George W. Bush got up on MySpace and did a little post and said, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time is when we're going to cross that border from Kuwait into Iraq? Can you imagine? Imagine. I mean, seriously, this man is now a threat, a clear and present threat to the safety and security of our armed forces, let alone the American people.
President Trump has made a lot of threats before, but this time it's unclear how it ends. Right now, President Trump is threatening to bomb Iran, specifically targeting power plants and bridges if they don't reopen the Strait of Hormuz within hours. Iran is refusing, and both sides are holding firm, with no sign of backing down. But you need to understand this. This is no longer just about reopening a shipping lane. It's about credibility. If we issue ultimatums like this and they get ignored, every adversary around the world is watching to see whether we actually follow through or back down. Because when threats stop working, the only thing left is action. And that's how situations like this escalate, not by accident, but because neither side can afford to look weak. Now, to be fair, some will argue that this level of pressure is exactly what forces concessions that without real consequences, Iran would never reopen the strait. But if every ultimatum brings us one step closer to bombing critical infrastructure, are we restoring deterrence or locking ourselves into a conflict we can't easily walk away from?
We have some news right now. This is Donald Trump's Easter morning message. He posted this before even mentioning Easter this morning. Posted this after a U.S. service member was rescued in Iran. Quote, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. President Donald J. Trump. Real. This is real. 100% real. Not AI, not any of that. This is 100% real. President of the United States just posted it within the past 20 minutes, as you can see, on his Truth Social. He didn't post anything about Easter. He didn't post anything else this morning. Nothing to the American people. This is what he is posting, though. If Joe Biden or Barack Obama posted this on Easter morning, George Bush posted this on Easter morning during the height of the Iraq War, what do you think the media's response would be? I'll have more updates for you soon. Follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come.
Did y'all see Dookie Booty throwing a bitch fit this morning? He said, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Dookie Booty. Dookie done woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He said, they still ain't open the strait? I know you fucking lying. This was Dookie Booty when he wrote this shit. The American people couldn't even wake up to a happy Easter from the fucking president. This motherfucker went straight to hell. Dookie Booty mad as hell. He like, why the fuck aren't my threats working? Do they take me as some joke? Yes, they do, Dookie. Nobody takes you seriously. If you cannot see, they do not take you seriously, and neither does anybody else in this fucking world, except for your MAGA maggots. But he got some fucking nerves calling them some crazy bastards when he's the one who started this motherfucking war and been taking out all they fucking leaders. Happy Easter, y'all.
Donald Trump told the American people the war in Iran is almost over. But here's the problem. Nothing about his speech sounded like an ending.
We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
The president declared victory. He said that Iran had been weakened, its military degraded, its nuclear ambitions obliterated. And yet in the very next breath, he's talking about more strikes, harder strikes, extended operations. So which is it? Victory or escalation? If a war is truly ending, you don't keep expanding the battlefield. You don't threaten to bomb Iran into the Stone Ages. Donald Trump is clearly trying to exit a crisis that, along with Israel, he made. And that crisis is now spiraling far beyond the battlefield. Just look at the global economy. It's rattled, markets are sliding, oil prices are skyrocketing. And at the center of all of that is this waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply. It's still unstable, it's still contested, it's unusable, and there's no clear diplomatic plan to fully reopen it. And here's the paradox at the heart of his speech. The administration says that Iran is weaker than ever, but the reality is far more complicated. The regime, yes, is more isolated, but it's actually more hardened, more entrenched, and still very much in power. And economically, despite the war and despite the sanctions that have been put on Iran, Iran is now reportedly making more money per day from oil sales than before the conflict began. So what exactly has been achieved? A destabilized global economy, an unresolved energy crisis, allies that are strained and isolated, and an adversary that may be bruised, but not fundamentally changed. The real question isn't what we won, it's what we're leaving behind.
Heads up, y'all. This is a Real Truth tweet. He posted this shit, and we all might be done on Tuesday. So I recommend taking the next 2 days to get your shit together, do what you gotta do, get your shit in line, because y'all know Iran ain't fucking around. So I guess we're doing this. Happy World War III, folks.
This is sarcastic, hilarious, it's paradox, it is wicked fun. I guess I need to call the Pope in here. We need to pray.
We have some major developments this morning. Donald Trump is facing calls for his removal after probably one of the most unhinged Truth Social posts that he's ever put out. On Easter morning, putting out a Truth Social post that essentially threatens war crimes on the Iranian people, but signs it, quote, praise to be Allah. I'm going to show you this post momentarily. I'm going to show you how members of the media are already normalizing this. But this post has enraged people across the political spectrum. Republicans, Democrats, independents are furious seeing a president completely unpresidential. But maybe that's just the new norm. But I think a lot of people need to see what is happening right now in Washington, D.C., and just how completely not normal it is. It comes as Donald Trump spoke with Fox News and said now that he thinks he can get the war done, a deal done by tomorrow. Market manipulation on Easter morning continues because the market is closed today, and he wants the futures to open up higher than previously before. And he says if he doesn't get a deal...
Is it time for the 25th Amendment after Donald Trump's latest rant on Truth Social, where he threatens Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day, all wrapped up in one in Iran? There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy betards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Clearly, J.D. Vance and Trump's cabinet, you all really need to be considering the 25th Amendment. You really, really do. What do you all think? I mean, this is not something a president should be posting, should be saying, and he wonders why he's getting the response he's getting with these threats. Iran does not respond to threats like this. They're not going to. They're not going to respond to Donald Trump, the bully. What do you all think? 25th Amendment is time. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and the burned out light bulbs. It's time this cabinet and J.D. Vance do one thing right.
This is a real post from the President of the United States, threatening war crimes on Easter Sunday. Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. This is who MAGAs consider to be the embodiment of Christ. This is who feckless Republicans refuse to stand against. This is who complicit corporate Democrats continue to confirm his nominees. This man is openly threatening war crimes, openly threatening infrastructure that is vital for a country to survive. These are war crimes. The U.S. government, Congress must take action. The United Nations must take action. This man is exhibiting the exact same levels of violence and sociopathy that past fascists and dictators have exhibited when invading other countries. How much worse does it need to get for the world to take action? This is his Easter Day message. If you're still in MAGA, you're not in a political party, you are in a cult. I'm begging you, get out, because he doesn't care about you either.
Donald Trump's Easter message to the world was one of love, affirmation, redemption, conciliation, tolerance. It embodied all the Christian values. Here, just read it for yourself. I forgot compassion.
Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you're having a great Easter Sunday. Trump just jumped on Truth Social and he said that he's going to bomb Iran on Tuesday. Iran said that hell is going to open if he even tries to do that. So, happy Easter. Your president wanted to start beef on a Holy Easter Sunday. So, yeah.
Iran is going to win this war for the same reason that Great Britain lost against the United States during their Revolutionary War. Iran, outgunned, outmanned, has got determination and is completely set to do everything they can to beat the United States, which is a lot different than the United States sending a bunch of soldiers just going because that's their duty. When you put integrity, drive, and determination behind even the smallest of military apparatus, you will see great change, just like we saw it in Vietnam. The United States was a superior force, but couldn't stand the Vietnam attack method. And that's what's happening right now, because with the United States having a $1.1 trillion military machine coming down on what's $8 billion worth of military hardware and infrastructure in Iran, when the United States gave Iran a 15-point, this is how you can surrender. Iran gave them 1 point and says, no, you can stick it. And they've continued to fight regardless of how many bombs you drop. And it seems like after a month and a half now of this war going on, Iran isn't going anywhere, and they seem to be building momentum, which is showing the rest of the world that the United States aren't one to fear as much as you might think, that the bravado of this big war machine is just that, smoke and mirrors. Does that sound familiar to you?
The language is just astonishing. Ending that message with the phrase, praise be to Allah, coming as it does after days in which not only the president, but other top Trump officials have really portrayed this as a Christian nationalist right-wing crusade that the United States is engaged in. That's an open invitation, is it not, for Iranian proxies outside the country, including the sleeper cells that the president himself has conceded are active on American soil and quite possibly on British soil as well, to launch their own fresh assaults on targets in the United States and potentially again on targets here in the UK.
Bitcoin, gold, and silver could moon in the near future because of this war. I don't think most folks understand what exactly is happening here. In theory, Bitcoin should do well when the US dollar crashes, right? And we are literally seeing some crashes as we speak. Why am I pointing out this news? US F-15 is down in the US, and this has been confirmed by all the US networks, right? Why is this important for Bitcoin and for gold and for silver? For the longest time, people have said this about Bitcoin and gold, is that it is basically a hedge against fiat abuse or the collapse of the US dollar. They've never said the collapse of the US dollar would come from the military side. They've always said the collapse of the US dollar would come from the budget side or the fiscal side, which is the US government tends to overspend, right? There are $39 trillion in debt, or if you look at the off the books debt, it's more like 140 something trillion, because they're called obligations, like the Medicare and Medicaid. So everyone's been saying we should get into gold, we should get into silver, because both of these are trying to be the hedge when the US dollar collapse comes. But what everyone's gotten wrong is that everyone has been saying, all the Bitcoin maxis, all the gold maxis are saying, gold bugs are saying Bitcoin goes to $1 million per Bitcoin. Gold goes to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, right, per ounce of gold, because of the collapse of the US dollar. They are right on that, but they're only half right, because they got the reason wrong. The reason why they said the US dollar would collapse is because US federal budget, right? They keep on pointing to this number, the 39 trillion. It's about to become 39.1. Anyways, pretty soon, $40 trillion, the big 4-0. But it usually happens at the place where the market is not watching. The real crushing blow, it seems right now, to US markets is coming from a place that nobody talks about, that nobody has talked about or warned about except Pablo, right? I've been talking about this a lot in my Discord, and I've hinted it on online as well, right? It's because it's an ugly subject. It's people don't like me talking about it, but I think we cannot wait anymore. Like, we're seeing the best, so-called the best fighter planes in the world, F-35s, and to a lesser extent, F-15s are getting shot down.
Okay, this war just got way more serious in the last 24 hours, and nobody's talking about it properly. First, and this is huge, 2 American warplanes just got shot down by Iran, an F-15 fighter jet and an A-10 attack plane. One crew member was rescued and the other is still missing. And it gets worse. During the rescue mission, Iran literally started shooting at US helicopters. So now even rescue missions aren't safe. And now this is the real story nobody's saying clearly. The US has been claiming air superiority, but this just exposed something big. This is the first time a US manned aircraft was lost inside enemy territory in this war. Meaning what? Iran can still hit US jets. And Iran isn't slowing down either. Reports say they're actively hunting the missing pilot, even offering rewards to find him and bring him alive. So let's be real for a second. US jets are getting hit, rescue teams are getting targeted, Iran is openly challenging US air dominance. This is not a controlled situation anymore. And the scariest part, this all just happened in 24 hours. This war just entered a new phase, so follow for more updates.
So this tweet from Donald Trump is absolutely bonkers. I mean, obviously there's the war crime angle where he says Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day. He's talking about striking civilian infrastructure, which according to the law of armed conflict, which is a treaty, meaning it is U.S. federal law, you cannot strike civilian infrastructure and cause unnecessary civilian suffering. That is what he's stating in his tweet, True Social post, whatever. He is stating he's going to commit war crimes. It is an admission if he actually does it. It could be a bluff. Who knows? I've talked about this in previous videos, how it doesn't work, how it is immoral, how it is just flat out wrong to do this. And I'm actually going to talk more about this on the upcoming episode of American Power, which drops on Wednesday with Mr. Global and Nat Towson. So please go download it. But he goes on in this tweet. He goes on a rant where he's like, open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards. That's the president of the United States is pushing on social media, open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards. And none of this is the wildest part of this. None of this. Because he closes out his True Social post with praise be to Allah, which I have no problem with. But you know who's gonna? His Christian nationalist base. He said praise be to Allah on Easter. On Easter, no less. His Christian nationalist base, which is the most vehement supporters of MAGA and Trump, they're going to lose their shit. I don't know what he's trying to do. In a single tweet, he goes and talks about committing war crimes, swears a bunch, and then praises Allah on Easter. Wild.
Wow, he's really losing it, guys. Did you see his adorable post this morning, Easter morning? He's dropping, he's swearing basically in his X post, telling Iran if they don't, open up the Strait of Hormuz by Tuesday, he's basically just going to obliterate them. Then he says, praise Allah, which, where is that coming from? He's losing it. He's becoming very non-presidential, pretty much dropping F-bombs. And so he's made a mockery of Easter. Not that I'm a big Catholic or anything like that, but, Easter morning, this is the type of message he's posting. And, instead of doing real negotiations and whatever, he's just screaming obscenities and mocking, another religion's God. And apparently people in the GOP and MAGA are concerned. They think that Trump is really losing it. And I don't think he is. I think we all know he is.
It's Easter Sunday, everybody. Happy Easter. Trump posted this. Tuesday, this is 2 hours ago, Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. You contrast this with what the Iranian foreign minister, Syed Al-Rakchi, is saying. Remember the Western outrage about hostilities near, not even going to try to pronounce this, nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Israel, US have bombed our Bushehr plant 4 times now. Radioactive fallout will end life in GCC capitals, not Tehran. The absolute stark contrast you see from these two individuals, this looks like he's losing his mind. He's completely desperate. He's put himself into his position, and he's calling this man is the hostile one in this conflict. He's bombing civilian infrastructure, something like 13,000 missile strikes to date, and he's calling the Iranians the crazy bastards in this case. Whereas the statesman-like way that Aragchi is talking, the Iranians are speaking, I'm sorry, but this man has lost the plot, and the U.S. has lost the plot. And I think at this point, it's safe to say they've lost this war. No matter how this plays out, in the end, the U.S. has lost this war. But what do you think? How will this play out over the next couple of days? Tomorrow, Monday, Easter Monday, is going to be the end of this deadline, this 10-day deadline. Trump is looking pretty desperate at this point because he's pushed back the deadline twice. I don't think he can really do it again and have a political win. So he's going to have to, I guess, fulfill on his promise. And I don't think the Iranians are going to in any way give in to his demands. think the U.S. has to fold at this point. And if they do decide to blow up the Middle East more than they already have, then the coming year is not recessionary, it's depressionary globally. It's going to be an absolute disaster. So we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow and into Tuesday. Insanity. Stay safe, everybody. If you like this type of content, make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.